10 Miles to Safety is a top-down zombie shooter. In early access developed by Trick Jump Games, the premise is the zombie apocalypse has come and the nearest military safety is 10 miles away. You can play this game solo, or you can grab some friends for some 4-player co-op. The core game loop is you run and loot during the day in a procedurally generated world, and hold your ground at night. Every few miles there will be a defend the area mission you'll have to do to get to the next zone. When you start the game, you can choose between 6 classes, each with their own bonuses. Each class only gets about 2 to 3 of them for the whole game. There's no leveling system or skill trees, which doesn't really make the classes feel all that important to the game. Once you've selected your class and you start the game, it puts you through a very well put together tutorial. It teaches you your movement, your crafting, how to build your defenses, how to tear them down for resources, before it just lets you out into the world. The world itself is divided into zones. Each zone has its own feeling and vibe. You start off in the suburbs, you'll see police killing zombies, civilians in panic and running for safety, cars are burning, houses are boarded up, and you just get the general feeling of being in the apocalypse. Gear in the game is very plentiful. There are plenty of opportunities for you to get new equipment. You can either scavenge for it, or you can do these small defensive objectives that will grant you equipment for doing them. Now in the solo experience for these smaller objectives, I thought it was really hard to do. I don't think I succeeded one time doing this by myself. Now as far as what you can actually carry, you can carry 2 guns of any kind. You get 1 melee weapon. You also get armor, helmet, and a backpack. Now as you progress through the game, you'll need to find better gear to keep up with the difficulty scale. As you progress, the game gets harder, there's new zombie types, and etc. The game kind of feels like Borderlands in that regard, as you have to constantly try and keep pace with the difficulty scale. But the only difference in regard to that is these guns don't have unique abilities or perks. The guns just do more damage. But there are gun attachments that can help you out. There's suppressors, scopes, and extended mags. Personally, I don't use the suppressors. Sound isn't really an issue in the game. And the suppressor also reduces the damage slightly of the gun, so I don't really see a point of using them. Scopes extend how far out your gun will range. And then the extended magazine, you just don't have to reload as often, so it's always nice. So whenever I can, I try and get a scope and extended mag for my guns. Combat feels like most top-down shooters. It's arcadey, and your range is limited by the red indicated curve. Shotguns in the game do feel pretty good. Sometimes you can kill an enemy at close range in one shot. You can kill any person in the game. You can kill the police and the civilians. You don't get anything for doing it, but it is something you can do. When night rolls around, the game wants you to hunker down in one place and defend it. Sometimes the AI will seem to be lost or confused on how to get to you, and at one point I got tired of waiting, so I tried to move around, but you're limited to an area until daylight hits. I think the nighttime experience can use some improvements, starting with the AI pathing to the player, so that way they're not getting stuck, lost, or confused. And then the enemy needs some higher spawn frequencies, because there'd be times where I'd go 10-15 seconds and not see a single enemy. Overall, the game is a fun experience. I would be more likely to play this with friends though. I don't think the single player experience is all that interesting, since the game loop is very repetitive. I think this game has potential to be good by making the nights harder and adding some skill trees or perks for the classes to make them feel a little more diverse. But that's just my opinion. The game is available on Steam for $12.99 USD. Link to the store page is in the description.